All right, you still got me?
Live, homie.
All right. All right, I just want okay, first of all, let me start off by and obviously we'll get some few people start coming in here, but I want to introduce everyone to I don't even know what your channel is called. Is it still Nicolept06?
It sure is.
Hang on.
I kept it alive for all the haters,
Okay, so I want kind of okay, introduce your before we get talking about the Giants. Um you were on YouTube or you were on YouTube making giant videos. Did you jumped on the '07 the '07
I
'08
was
year?
in the '07. I've been on YouTube since 2006, hence the Nicole PT06, but I caught a glimpse of one of your videos. I was actually on the Giants message board, and somebody had posted a link to one of your videos. And at first, I'm not going to lie to you, I thought it was corny as hell. But then I'm like, all right, this guy's pretty cool, man. He's got, he's from not from around the area, and he's really passionate about Giants football. So I had to.
That was the one and only time that I've ever advertised my stuff. That is the and it's funny because I thought that was the best way to do it, was to do it the message board way.
No, you had some fans there, but you got killed.
Yeah, I got killed. Absolutely.
You got killed. And I was like, at first I was like, all right, I can see where they're coming from. Like, all right, no, this shit is entertaining. I'm going to keep watching. So,
well, I mean, plus it led you to watching other giant video makers and, a lot of the Cowboys, Redskins, and Eagle video makers. And you probably enjoyed that just as much as you did with the giant stuff.
Yeah, I mean, just to give those people that are just listening in right now a perspective of 2006, 2007 YouTube versus today, you guys missed out on some good days, man. I mean, that I would fucking laugh at the impersonations during Hate Week, J-Wad's impersonations of Giants Mafia members, your impersonation of fucking J-Wad with the cat, like it was insane. Like those were some really good years where people just kind of understood what the culture of the TTC was, and we understood that we were all very avid fans of our own team, but we didn't really take things to heart. And there were always your typical trolls and people that would come around and try to kill the vibe. But I think, at least for NFC East, I mean, there was such a good base for, Cowboy fans making YouTube videos. We had Mike and Ike and, I don't know, Terrabelly fucking sucked, but whatever, whatever his name was. He had a couple of Redskin fans. Skintastic Man was cool. And then you had the Giants, and then, you had John Ammo and the Eagle fans, which, that just spoke for itself. So
my favorite was he went by several different names. It was Nickel Time, I think, he's Double Time Nikolai. It was Nikolai and Double. Remember he had the mask?
No, I don't remember that.
I think you would remember him if you saw him. But this
motherfucker wore a mask.
Yes, he had the video. I can't remember. I think it was Nikolai and Double Time. Anyway, and he had the character Leroy Jenkins, or I can't remember what his name was.
Oh, anyways, no, I liked him.
Yeah, that was Double Time. Okay, so your channel is still Nicole. It's still
active.
But is it Nicole PT06?
It's Nicole PT06. We'll hit you with the channel link in the description. Not that I really care, but not that I have much content up, but.
So we recently reached out to one another, and we're going to try to start doing some of these Google Hangouts together, talking Giants football, and hopefully it will be some good content that we can produce for everyone. So let's just go ahead and just start talking about the Giants. Let's just go ahead into it.
Where should we start?
Before we talk about like the preseason game so far, I said in a couple videos ago that I have never been as excited for a Giants team as I am this year, and even the recent two Super Bowls, the following year, I don't think I was as excited about the Giants as I am this year. It just seems like on paper we have every right to be really good, really good. Where do you stand on your thoughts on like this team coming into this year?
I'm excited for the defense. This offensive line still scares the shit out of me. See the difference between I had high expectations the year after we won the Super Bowl in 2007 because we had great continuity. You know, Flax was coming back. You know, we lost Strahan, but we had a healthy OC. We had Tuck, who was his successor. We had a proven offensive line. So I think my perception of 2008 was way better than it is from an offensive line perspective than it is right now currently. I think with the amount of weapons we have, we should be really successful. But I think there's two concerns here for me. Offensive line play and how that affects Eli. Listen, the Eli of today is not the reckless YOLO Eli of 2007 and 2011. He's got 2 kids. He's got a family now. He's not going to take those hits he was taking during the San Francisco playoff game. Eli is just going to be a lot more cognizant of what's going on around him. He's not going to take those risks. So I think in turn, maybe some opportunities that would have been there a few years ago when he was a little bit more reckless and YOLO are not going to be there now because he's just not going to take those hits. He's not going to allow himself to take those hits. He doesn't trust this offensive line. I don't blame him. I think it's been inconsistent throughout. I think our tackles are on a good day average. Our guards are playing really inconsistently as well, and our center hasn't really lived up to his second round. Listen, we have how many first and second rounders on this line, and they're not doing it right now. So my main concern, again, is the offensive line and Eli. I'm not concerned about Eli when he's got time in the pocket. I'm concerned about Eli when he doesn't have time in the pocket. And I think that with the amount of pressure he's been seeing these last few years and his just complete distrust in the offensive line, it's a domino effect. So, the jury's still out. Preseason is preseason. I'm hoping the offensive line gets as much time out there to sort of form some continuity. But now,
the haters always love it, and I say haters, but our NFC East foes, they love it when Eli throws a pick, and they just drool all over themselves, and they just put it on Eli, and they refuse to say, well, shit, that offensive line that was in front of him, They just ignore the fact that Eric Flowers just let somebody blow by him, and Eli's got somebody barreling down on him, and he makes a bad pass, and I don't blame him for that. I just don't think every pick is his fault. I really don't.
No, I mean, we've had some inconsistent wide receiver play. I mean, rewind back 2 or 3 years ago when Ruben Randall was running incorrect routes, and I think that. What was it, year 2015?
You're right.
Half of Eli's picks were basically Ruben Randall's fault. That's what people don't really understand because they don't study the game with a granular perspective. They just see what they see on television. They don't really break down the play. And, of course, the quarterback eventually makes the throw. But, it's other people have responsibilities, and they're not executing what they're supposed to execute. So when Eli expects you to be somewhere and you're not there, obviously you're going to think, oh, Eli Manning face. Yeah. There goes Eli. Yeah. You know what? He's got 2 – right now, I'm playing with house money. The Giants are playing with house money.
I know.
I think we have an amazing squad, again, but just to sort of touch back where you think that my major concern is, that's going to be the offensive line and just staying healthy. If this team – could find a way to stay healthy defensively. I mean, shit, Denver won fucking a Super Bowl with Peyton Manning that didn't even have an arm that year. I mean, so if we can put out a really good defensive, squad, I think, playoffs is definitely in the picture, but we're going to need more than that.
Now, what do you think about as far as, and I know that the two of us hate to give credit to anybody in the NFC East, but out of the teams in the NFC East, who is going to give the Giants the most scare, you think?
I think it's the team that has plagued us first.
Yes.
I think it's going to be the Eagles.
I think it is too.
I think the Cowboys have regressed. I think that Washington's my wild card. I'll tell you a couple reasons why. I think Kirk Cousins has the ability to play really well, but he's too inconsistent. If you can find a little bit more consistency there, I think they have some pretty good young guys on the outside and a pretty decent offensive line. Now their defense, I'm not really sure how they've upgraded the cornerback position. I think all of these teams need really strong cornerbacks. Any team needs really strong quarterbacks, at least 3 or 4 in this league, since it's a passing league these days. I don't see any of the secondaries in this division really scaring me. What's scaring me is the front line, right? If who cares if freaking OBJ can beat every single cornerback out there if Eli doesn't have the time to get a pass off to him. So I think that from a defensive line perspective, that's really what I'm zoning in on with our competition. I think the Eagles, that's why I'm picking the Eagles to give us the biggest fits, because they have the best D-line in this division.
Well, and I don't know if you know who this guy is, but there's an Eagles fan on YouTube right now. He goes by the name of Eagle Speed, okay? And he is a spaghetti-eating booger eater, okay? Full-on spaghetti-eating booger eater. And he constantly wants to remind me that his freshly new-faced draft pick, Derek Barnett, his new defensive end, is coming for Eli. And look, no shit. Like I literally I give him props, or not props, but I know the Eagles are coming. Like I know they're going to be pretty good this year. I know that they've got a pretty good front seven, especially their D line, you know. And when it comes to playing them out of the other all 3 of the teams in the NFCs, they give me the most concern because of what they have as their team. Because honestly, I think we're a matchup nightmare for the Cowboys. Absolute matchup nightmare. The Redskins are going to be trash this year, in my opinion. And the Eagles have the pieces to compete with the Giants, you know. And like I don't want to give them credit, but it's like in my world, I see it Eagles and Giants.
Yeah.
In a photo finish to the very end.
I mean, let's be real. Eli, anytime he goes to Philly, it's like deer in headlights.
I know, you're right. I mean, crazy.
It's pretty funny. You know, I miss the days, and we were talking about this the other day. I miss the days of, and this is kind of getting into another topic that I think it's relevant for us to talk about, but I miss the days of Brandon Jacobs and freaking Ahmad Bradshaw, because those guys would set the tone for this offense. Right now, we don't really have that smash mouth player on offense. We don't. I mean, I can't think of anybody right now on this current Giants team that on offense I'd be like, he's a physical beast monster, you know, like Brandon Jacobs or like Ahmad Bradshaw. I think we have a lot of guys on defense like that. BJ Goodson, by the way, we'll get into that a little bit later. But on offense, I just don't, you know, Paul Perkins is a finesse guy. You know, Orleans Darkwa, if he can stay healthy for more than a week and a half, he might be that power back. But I think that when you're going up against the Eagles and with our track record against them and with our track record against their defensive line, which has been a joke, to be honest with you, Eli's like seriously is petrified of playing the Eagles in Philly. But when you're playing those types of games, you need those beasts, you need those monsters to sort of, you know, give your offense this reassurance. Right now, I feel like the Giants team is scared shitless of that D-line. And I feel like it's going to continue into this season. I'd be surprised if we won a game against the Eagles. I personally think we're going to get swept, and that's pathetic. But that's just really that's really what it's been. We just have a weak offensive line, and they play to that. And you know what? They game plan really well defensively to really exploit our weaknesses on offense. So do I think it's going to change this year? No, I think we're going to fucking stink it up again this year. I'm not going to lie.
Well, it's interesting you were talking about the running backs like Jacobs and Bradshaw. It seems, you know, there was a moment there, obviously we had Tiki Barber, and then we had, you know, and obviously Ron Dane never really panned out big time for us. But, we had a little thunder and lightning there for a little bit, and then, of course, the Bradshaws and the Jacobs came along. But the last few years, the Giants have done such a poor job of getting a good running back. When you think of, the David Wilson draft pick, the Rashad Jennings signing never panned out. You wanted to be optimistic about Andre Williams. That never panned out. It's just like we haven't had a decent running back, and literally since Jacobs and Bradshaw, it seems like,
Yeah.
Even like we had a little Andre Brown there for a little bit, but I mean that was just nothing, it happened. It went by so fast that we didn't even get to enjoy it. So it's like I'm optimistic when you talk about players like or as far as being excited about. Paul Perkins is one of the players like I'm really excited about this season, but so far, and we'll get to the preseason games, but I'm not blown away with what I've seen so far.
I think they're stashing Shane Vereen for the season. I think Shane is, sort of in the backdrop right now. But if you look at the first game from last year when we played against the Cowboys, and the Cowboys actually had one of the better run defenses last year, if you look at it from statistically, Shane Vereen completely tore them up.
Yeah, but can he stay healthy?
No, and he started to tear it up against, Washington. I was at that game. That was it felt like the miracle at the Meadowlands all over again in that game versus Washington, where we could have literally put the nail in the coffin for them, and then we're like, here you go, we're just going to give up a 21-point lead here, have a win. But in that game, Vereen was playing really well. He had a couple fumbles that game, then he got injured. But I thought that last year our run game got off, the first two games anyway, to a pretty decent start when Vereen was back there. Then it was sort of running back by committee. Rashad Jennings, I expected more out of him, but he just, even with the offensive line woes, I mean, I looked over some tape and he just completely missed some holes. That's what she said. He missed some holes there, and after that, it's kind of like who's going to take over. We had a rookie in Perkins, so I think hopefully with another year under his belt. Again, preseason our running game has been shit. But honestly, we're just trying formations right now. We're not game planning. That's what people don't understand about preseason. Is they're going to be frustrated that the Giants can't do this, the Giants can't do that. I'll tell you one thing: we are not game planning for the opponent. The Browns, this past game, that was their Super Bowl. They went all out. They went all out, and you know what? That's fine. My main concern is that I want to see some of our younger players. I want to see some O-line continuity. I want to see, Ben McAdoo try to clear some bad plays out of the playbook.
Let's talk about McAdoo. Yeah. Let's talk for him a second.
McAdoo?
Yeah, let's talk about him. So I feel like in order for this, the offense struggled last year at times, and so far in the two preseason games, and we can start getting into those, the running game has just kind of looked, just whatever, whatever. I'm trying to figure this out. Is the running game poor right now because our O-line just can't run block? Or is it poor because McAdoo, as you called him, isn't designing good running plays?
I think it's a combination of both. I think they're testing some things out. Again, that's what preseason is for. It's to see what's going to work, what might work, what needs. They're drawing up these plays, and it's different when you draw it up on pen and paper, and then when you actually go out there and execute it. So they're finding things out for themselves right now with whatever they've tried to come up with during the off season to see what's going to work, how it actually pans out in real action. So I think that's part of where our struggles are, is maybe, the teams, Ben McAdoo has been trying to do some things there that, are new and novel, and see how they work out in a game time environment. And then I will be honest with you, Eric Flowers has done better than I've expected. Bobby Hart has been decent. Who's really stunk it up, and I'm really concerned and starting to get worried about Weston Richburg and obviously we all know John Jerry's ass. They need to just bench
John
him.
Jerry was really
John
bad.
Jerry is ass. But it's actually the interior of the offensive line that's allowing a lot of the push. Eli's not able to step up into the pocket. I mean, the stunts they ran, Cleveland ran against the Giants the other night. I mean, your head needs to be on a swivel if you're an O-lineman. And these guys just aren't picking up their assignments on the interior. So the first sack, everybody's like, oh, that was Bobby Hart. No, it wasn't Bobby Hart. The linebacker stunted. Bobby Hart took his assignment. That was John Jerry and Weston Richburg's assignment. They just, decided they wanted to take a 20-second timeout and not pay attention. And, the result was a sack. So I'm actually seeing some really poor performance on the interior of the offensive line. I think, Eric Flowers compared to last year, from what I've seen, going up against a couple of pretty tough guys. I think, TJ Lane's going to be a pretty decent defensive end. And this rookie that they had, first round pick, what was his name? Garrett, whatever his name is. Yeah, Miles Garrett. I think he's going to be really good too. And I've been pretty impressed with the way Eric Flowers has been playing. But again, that interior of the O-line just needs to play better.
As a whole unit, they do. I mean,
they do,
but
my main concern was not the interior this year. It was going to be the tackles. Now the tackles are playing pretty decently, and the interior just looks like it's taking, the preseason off. I'm just hoping that, they're trying not to get hurt out there, but, you can't get Eli killed in a freaking preseason game.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting is, and this is somewhat frustrating, because one thing the Giants, in my opinion, do really well is throw the ball 15 yards or in, the short passes. I mean, but the problem is they rely on Beckham, Shepard to break out and have that 60 yards after a catch and score a touchdown. You never see, at least last year. I mean, where are the deep passes 15 yards or out? And I think it has a lot to do with the offensive line just cannot hold the D-line or anybody blitzing long enough to give Eli time to make those big throws.
I think he did enough in the offseason to address.
Let's hope. But I mean, so far, and I don't really care so much about the first preseason game, the Steelers game, because Eli didn't play, Beckham didn't play. I don't care about that one so much. When I see the Browns game, and you're right, there's no game planning, there's no way to beat them. But when I see some silly mistakes, and I say, man, if this is regular season, we can't have that. Because honestly, that game, at least for a second, the one thing the Giants did a lot of last year was they won a lot of close games. And they just allowed in situations where they should just put teams away, they never do. It's almost like if you remember the first Eagle game last year, we should have absolutely smoked them. We let them hang around, and we end up almost losing that game, and we only win by 5.
Right.
It's like they just have to have every game to be a heart attack at the end.
Yeah.
Just absolutely. And I feel like we need to get that up. We need to have, and maybe that's the running game that just can't put them away.
Yeah. I mean, what I saw from when they did try to run against the Browns, again, I saw that interior line really just collapse. Not only that, but everybody's touting this guy, Shane Smith. Oh, fullback. Giants made a fullback. Like, this guy whiffed on, every single block.
You know who I really like?
Ingram.
You know who I really like?
Then you had Evan Ingram. Evan completely missed on a couple of blocks where, we would have ran for quite some yards. You had Brandon Marshall out there who had some run blocking assignments. I mean, these guys are half-assing it, and you can so see that. So for me, it's the O-line. It's just an entire effort by the tight end, by the fullback. I mean, I honestly, from what I've seen from this fullback in the first couple of games, I think we should just carry an additional tight end instead of having a fullback. From what I've seen so far, this guy has. Oh, he's doing so good in training camp. Yep, that's nice, but can they translate that into games? I haven't seen that from him. Obviously Evan Ingram's a rookie, and they're trying to see what they can do from him.
Yeah.
But a lot of these runs, again, it's execution. If everyone is not doing their job, the play is not going to work as it was designed. So it's really just making sure they execute. I think if they did a better job, tight end, fullback, of executing on some of these blocks, it could give the O-line a little bit of help. But even that's not happening right now. So it's sort of, hopefully they clean that stuff up. That's all correctable. But, it's you can't use that as an excuse. That's just sloppy football.
Well, I tell you who's really caught my eye the very first couple preseason games now is Rhett Ellison from the tight end that we signed from the Vikings. He is going to be the guy that gets absolutely no credit, no love. Nobody will ever talk about him, but he is going to make the big time. He's going to make the big blocks for us. And he's going to make those big 3rd and 6 catches. I know he is. I mean, just from what I've seen so far, there's going to be a lot of flair for Evan Ingram because of where he was drafted. OBJ is going to get a ton of love. Marshall will too. Eli, all these guys. But I'm telling you, Rhett Ellison, I think, is going to be sneaky good for the Giants this year. Just from
is he going to be the Bear Pasco?
Or how about Kevin Boss?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I would love for him to be
Jake Ballard.
I mean, just something, sneaky good. And it was funny. What he was wearing the other night, I was like, man, he kind of looks like Shockey out there. But I mean, I'm not going to go there. But yeah, I mean, obviously, I really like what I've seen from Evan Ingram so far. I think. I'm pretty pleased with it.
He looks pretty athletic out there.
I'm pretty pleased with it. I've told a lot of people that I thought one of the issues with our tight ends last year, when you look at Donnell, Will Tye, they couldn't create space.
Please don't ever mention that name
Larry
ever.
D.
Oh my God.
I know. I wanted him to be so good. I just wanted him to be so good. And, it's funny because if you remember, you used to give me hell for this back in the day. I was a big Sonoris Moss fan. Do you remember that?
I do. You were on that Sonoris, and it was it was like his 6th year end, and you're like, he's still a rookie. Nah, man.
I thought he was going to be like OBJ. I was like, oh, man, no, I'm telling you, man, he's Sonoris Moss. Look out for this guy. And then – so that's how I think I got with Larry D, where I was just like, man, this guy, I'm telling you, man, like I'm feeling it. And I don't know why I get this way with Giant players sometimes, where I just think like, oh, they're going to be totally good. And they end up being nothing, just absolutely nothing. So I'm hoping like it's
Larry D, man, I could have told you that.
I just wanted to believe.
He look at his face. He just looked like he was just moping around and let me just do a backflip for no reason and fumble the ball while in midair. Like every single time this guy had the ball in his hands, he ended up doing like some sort of trapeze, trampoline, like triple high jump thing as he's holding on to the football. It's like, can you just go down? Like, just go down and stop being so theatrical. But no, I mean, I will tell you, I like what I see from Evan Ingram right now. I think that especially if we're in a situation where they're going to start playing the cover 2, which is what they were doing last year a lot against our offense, since we basically ran the same vanilla play every fucking down. And that's because part of the reason why was because we had a rookie in Sterling Shepard, and Victor Cruz was sort of on his last leg, and OBJ was really our offense, right? So now we have guys like Brandon Marshall and Evan Ingram, where you got to respect those guys, right? They're not just, it's not a guy that's coming off of, 2 seasons of not playing wide receiver position. You're not, there's no rookie now on that wide receiver list. You got guys that have, pedigree there. So I think it'll be, especially during the regular season, people are not seeing anything that they're seeing right now from the Giants in the preseason, and that's fine. And do I like losing even if it's a preseason game? No.
Yeah, of
What
course
I
not.
really want coming out of these games is a healthy squad. That's really my main concern. And seeing the younger guys play, right? Getting some game time under their belt. And obviously for Eli, you know, getting him a couple passes out there. I'm not overly concerned about Eli. I just need some continuity from the O-line and get the younger players playing time. But, you know, Evan Ingram, I think, is going to be a special player for us. And he's going to give us another another outlet to, you know, teams blitzing, teams trying to play us in certain coverages. They're not going to be able to do that again this year.
Okay, so we talked about trying to keep this under an hour, and it's you and I obviously could go all night long just with this Giants talk. But let's talk about something positive. Okay, let's talk about our defense, because I know we both really like the defense. Who? Forget Landon Collins. Just forget him for a second.
BJ Goodson.
Okay. Hold on. Wait a minute. You're getting ahead of yourself. Who is the guy on the defensive side of the ball that you feel like you're most excited about?
Vernon's going to have an amazing year.
Really?
Vernon, if he stays healthy, is going to kill this season. He's going to
really good. He's
going to make that disc in Tyron Smith's back just fully pop out during week 1. I mean, I hear this guy's got like this semi-bulging disc. And by the way, I never wish injury on any player. And I really hope no matter what team you are, you stay healthy. I mean, that's like, I think is a low blow. You know, obviously we're going to laugh at all the times that Romo got hurt because it's just the Dallas Cowboys and
it was just funny. It was
right. But I never wish, you know, I wish Dallas could field their best team week 1. I want to see them I want to see every team with their best team out there. But I'm telling you, Tyron Smith got hurt during week 1 against Olivier Vernon. He did. He messed up his back that game. And you know how much of a beast that guy is. He's the best offensive lineman in the league, regardless of position on the O-line. I think Vernon is going to completely blow this guy out of the water this year. Yes, I think he's going to really show out. And you know, obviously Snacks is going to do really well. I think Jay Bromley is going to have a really decent season this year. But the player that I'm most excited about.
Everybody.
No. And this is a really important position that we've really been lacking these past few years, which is a middle linebacker presence, right? We had Antonio Pierce, who was not as athletically gifted as BJ Goodson, but you know, if you know the game, that will compensate for some of your athleticism and some of your drop off in athleticism. BJ Goodson is athletic and he's a football player. So I am so excited to have him out there. He looks like he wants to lead the team. He looks like he wants to be that vocal leader. We haven't had that in one of the most important positions of our defense in such a long time. So it's sort of refreshing to see a young guy like that kind of step in and take charge. So who do you think is going to be our breakout player this year?
Well, I tell you what, I like BJ Goodson so far, what I've seen. To me, the safer pick is Eli Apple.
Wait a minute. So you like BJ Goodson, but you were in love with Larry Donnell. Can you please explain that logic to me?
No, I was not in love with Larry D. I just wanted Larry D to be. I wanted him to be good. When I would make post game videos last year, or even previous year, like if he scored a touchdown, I don't know why that dude always got a shout out. I always came to give Larry D a shout out.
Yeah,
every time. I mean, I was always. I don't know why. I just rooted for the guy, and I'll be rooting for BJ Goodson. It's just like sometimes I get a man crush on some of these players. And
they usually suck. So you need to get new man.
No, it's that I know they suck, and I'm just like, come on, man, you can get good. You can be good. You know what I'm saying? So I just think that's what it was. But look, I think Eli Apple this season is going to make that big jump this year. I think he's going to be a potential shutdown cornerback for us. And it's coming at the right time because obviously DRC is getting older. Jack Rabbit, obviously, I think is going to have a few more good years. But, I mean, Eli Apple, I think this year has every right to be special. I think our secondary, I don't think people realize how good our secondary is going to be this year. I really don't. I mean, because I don't know if they realize Darian Thompson's coming back. I don't even think they even know who he is.
They don't know who he is.
They don't have a clue, and I think he's going to be really good. And even if he stumbles, you've got Adams. Burhay looked actually really good, in my opinion, in the last game. I mean, we're just
no.
You know what? Well, maybe that's the guy that I'm going to fall in love with, who I hope ends up being pretty good.
I hope that this Giants team I hope that somebody in the organization listens to this video, because if you have a man crush on somebody, then that means they need to be immediately cut like tomorrow, like tonight.
I got a man crush on Paul Perkins.
Well, I
really want Paul to be good.
But I think Paul at least has put out some product out there where I can even agree with you that he's ran consistently sometimes.
He's just, all he's done is flirt with us. He hasn't went all the way with this. He's just kind of flirted with us a little bit. I mean, I obviously want to see that. You remember that that breakout run? And see, we're moving back to the offense, but you remember that breakout run Bradshaw had in his rookie year against the Bills?
Oh yeah, when we sealed the deal there.
I'm waiting for Perkins to have that run. I'm waiting for that one right there. When I get that one, that's when I think he's went all in with us. But anyways, I mean, I'm right. I mean, you're right about BJ Goodson. I'm excited.
Eli Apple's going to be a good one. Yeah. I mean, again, this is all barring these people staying healthy, because Eli Apple had a couple games. He was out last season. So, hopefully they stay healthy, and hopefully, another year with Spagnuolo, right? Spagnuolo knows what he's got. I mean, if I were Spagnuolo, I'd be freaking salivating at all of the talent on this defense.
Well, it's so funny because I think we really got lucky with BJ Goodson, because we drafted him late in the draft a couple years ago, or not the last draft, but the draft before the last. And I think possibly him just kind of setting last year maybe was helpful. And Spags has a way of making and I'm not saying he's ordinary by any means, but just okay players into really great players, under his system. And so when you look at this defense, with the addition of Tomlinson now, we've got, in my opinion, 3 really good defensive tackles, because Jay Bromley all of a sudden is a monster. We obviously know.
This is preseason, but
from what I've seen in training camp, just videos and just from what I've heard reports and what I've seen, and then when I see it translate the game, and again, we need to see more of it. We need to see it in the regular season, but I'm optimistic. I feel like I thought we had a top 5 defense a year ago, and going into this year, from what I've seen, I don't think there's, without a question, the Giants have a top 5 defense. But
I think we have a top 3 defense.
Maybe. I mean, I'm trying to be humble about it by saying top 5. But
top five.
But here's my problem. If the offense can't stay on the field, the defense will eventually wear out. Eventually. I mean, we can't have the defense is going to keep us, I think, in every single game this year.
Yeah.
They're going to keep us in every single one.
And they helped us out with some points last year too. So.
And when you look at the Packer game, the playoff game, they clearly mid-third quarter ran out of gas.
Yeah, I mean, we rattled Aaron Rodgers for
early, and then that Hail Mary right before halftime was just.
That was payback. I kind of laughed when that happened. I was like, you know what? Somebody sold their soul, and now this just happened. So we're even now. It's all good. I'm cool with it. I came to terms with it, because you know what? I was laughing when Eli completed that Hail Mary to Nix. That's who caught it. And then I'm like, you know what? It's sort of just the world does come to a full like 360 at sometimes, you know, and it was ridiculous because we had like 6 guys back there, and you know, I actually think Randall Cobb had a little bit of a push off, but whatever, that's just me. But you know, I was like, after that happened, I was like, it's done. I mean, this is just too reminiscent of how we beat them, that you know, and our offense isn't doing anything, and you know, we just had no semblance of anything going on the offense. And then after that, I think the defense was just deflated, and then it went all downhill. What do you want to see out of the next preseason game against the ugly stepchild on Saturday?
Honestly, well, now that we know that OBJ is not going to be playing, which by the way,
He'll be out there week 1.
Yeah, I think he'll be out there week 1. But I lost all my fingernails Monday night, just chewing them away, thinking, "Oh God, is he really hurt?" You know, I think it's funny. I think he's got like a little bit of LeBron in him, where he loves.
Don't say that.
No, I do. I think
he walked off the field into the tunnel.
Look, he's good. So I don't have to root. I don't have to get Sonoris Moss on him. But I don't have to go nuts for him. But I think he's I say he's got a little LeBron in him, because I'm not saying he's dramatic with his injury, but it's pretty obvious to me. It was like he knows that he is a year away from getting a fat contract, a really fat one, and he has to stay healthy. He has to, number one, earn it. But if he has a serious injury, which obviously he was fortunate enough Monday night not to get that. If he has a serious injury, it might hurt his chances for a big contract. So I think that kind of what scared him. I know he obviously has a high ankle sprain, but he'll be fine. I know he'll play week 1, but I just think he's got – I'm not saying he's a drama queen.
Where did you hear he had a high ankle sprain from?
I heard it.
Are you diagnosing him yourself? Did you go on WebMD?
I did. Well, as soon as he took that hit, I said, "Oh, clearly high ankle sprain." Clearly.
At first, when I saw it,
I thought it was read that on the internet.
I thought it was a knee.
And I believe everything I read on the internet. Don't you?
I mean, the last time I checked, Wikipedia is probably the most reliable source of anything.
So, I mean, if the internet tells me he's got a high ankle sprain, he's got a high ankle sprain.
Yeah.
But
fake news.
But I've seen that guy dance, and I know that his ankles are good. They're nice and strong. So I'm expecting him to play week 1. But I got lost. I got tracked. So wait a minute. So
Saturday.
Okay, so,
what are you looking for Saturday?
Okay, so I don't care. I honestly don't even care if Eli completes any passes. I honestly don't. I want to see.
I hope that he doesn't even play.
Screw it. I don't want to see us even move the ball vertically, because I'm sure Marshall won't play. You know, I'd like to see Ingram get some catches, but honestly, I want to see some freaking nice run plays.
They should just run every.
I don't care if it's 3rd and 10, run the football. I mean, I just miss the days when Giants ran the football and played really good defense. It's like, don't get me wrong, I would love to, I like a good high-scoring game every now and then when we play the New Orleans Saints. But my God, can we run the football once in a while and actually have some success doing it? You know what I'm saying? So, like, to me, the very first 3 plays better just be run plays. And I don't care if we just get 1 yard. Let's just work on run plays over and just pound the Jets. Just keep feeding the rock. I mean, that's because I know the defense is going to be good. I mean, obviously it's the Jets, the offense. I expect the defense to showcase what they're really good, I expect them to be a showcase for them, but I just want to see something. Don't you just want to see us have something good with the running game? Just something.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see more of Darkwa and Gallman, to be honest with you. I think that
I'm not getting on the Gallman train.
Nah?
I'm not gonna hop. No, I think he just doesn't first of all, he fumbled Monday night.
That was. I don't
for some reason, I just don't. I just don't like. He just ain't my style. I just don't. I'm not. I mean, I'm fine. I mean, whatever. I mean, I hope he's good. I mean, obviously, I want him to be good, but like, I like Darkwa. I do like Darkwa. I like Perkins.
I think we should just sit Perkins and Vereen play. And I honestly don't even want Eli to play on Saturday.
Why?
I hope it's not a foreshadowing of anything. I hope it's not a foreshadowing of anything.
Do you think he's going to get bloody like that one preseason game with the Jets?
Don't say that. I'll cry. I will literally cry. I will drive to the Meadowlands.
I'm fine with. Well, the thing is, like, I want to see just some type of good. Don't you just want to see like a really good offensive drive before the season starts? Like, just like, damn, them boys moved the ball and they did it without Beckham. You know what I'm saying? Just one
but you know
damn
what? That's
good
easy.
drive.
We could draw up those plays. We could do like dinks and dunks.
Can we see it before week 1?
No, I mean, I don't even give a shit, to be honest with you.
You would be fine. You would be fine going into week 1 against the Cowboys
without scoring a touchdown in the preseason. Yes. I'm fine with that. I don't care. It's preseason.
I gotta have one. I gotta have just one touchdown where I say, okay, I know that they know how to do it.
I bet you the only touchdown we'll get is from a quarterback draw from Eli at the 6-yard line.
You know what's? Oh, I was going to say this. Speaking of not Eli playing, I actually really like Geno Smith as a backup.
Oh God, please!
Do you not like him?
Can we not even talk about him?
I'm just saying, if and God forbid Eli goes down.
No, I mean, I think Josh Johnson's terrible too. I say fuck it.
Terrible.
The season's over anyway. Just give it to Webb.
What did you think? What did you think about Davis Webb when we drafted him? I actually liked the pick.
I was, I looked at. I always consider, people are always, especially when I go on these Giants message board, it's pretty hysterical, right? I don't go on the actual official Giants forum. I go on this page, and I might be plugging them right now, but I go on Big Blue Interactive. I really like most of the content they have on there, but they have some crazy psycho people that no matter what this team does or no matter what Jerry Reese does, they're ready to throw the remote at the television. And, I was like, all right, this guy seems like, I'm not a scout, nor do I get paid to be one, so I'm not going to be watching tape on people all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I thought that from what I saw, he looked like he had some potential. I didn't want to reach for an offensive lineman who's going to just stink it up and be another cut in a couple of years. So I think from you're looking at it in terms of the dividends, I think that this guy has a higher ceiling than some of the other picks that were there that people were ready to jump on just because it was a need, right? I think so. I think that we drafted in terms of BPA, and we've done that throughout the years. And I will say Reese has a really shitty track record with third rounders up through, later rounds, even though this past year it looks like he hit a home run in the year before that. But I honestly thought, you know what, they're giving this guy a shot. He's way better than Ryan Nassib. And from the very limited time that we've seen him play, and that was against Pittsburgh, I saw more out of him in terms of his understanding of the game and the way that he could throw the ball than I did see out of the 4 or 5 years that Ryan fucking stank-ass Nassib was on this team. So I think we should carry 3 quarterbacks. I think it should be Eli. I think we should give the Rook the second spot. And then, this pains me to say.
I don't think Davis Webb.
I'm getting Ajita saying this, but just for insurance purposes, Geno, but third string.
I don't even think Davis Webb will even dress.
He should.
I don't. So. Well, let me ask this question because I would love for the Giants to have that smooth transition. I don't know how smooth it was, but like when the Packers went from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers, like you have one good quarterback and you move to like another one immediately, almost. And the Colts kind of did that, but the Colts got lucky when they lost Peyton and then went to Andrew Luck. I think Eli's got 3 years left. Am I crazy?
if it were me, I'd cryogenically freeze Eli and and just have him be the Giants quarterback for the rest of my life anyway.
I would love that. I don't know.
I hope Eli plays another 10 years, to be honest with you.
I would, I'm so with you on that, because I hear, and I heard some when I went to the Cowboy game last year against the home game against the Cowboys. I heard rumblings from other fans where they were just like, "Man, we're done with this." Like they're done with him. There are some Giant fans that are just done with Eli.
Welcome to New York, my friend.
No, I understand that, but like, I don't understand. First of all, I'm very appreciative of what he's giving us as fans, and so I'm almost kind of like what you were saying, house money. But to me, it's not always like we've always, when he finally figured it out, I've always felt like that's the one position that really hasn't been a problem. Even our down years, right there at the end of Tom Coughlin's year, like even that position, like I was like, Eli's not the problem here. It's other areas that they didn't have very good personnel. I don't even know if Coughlin was really the problem, although I'm sure his ways got old and repetitive. But I've always just thought Eli's fine. Eli's not the issue here. And so when I look at the future and I see Davis Webb, for example, get drafted, I understand the Giants have to start thinking about the plan. Although when they drafted Nassib, I don't think they were even thinking of him being a first round or a starter. They just said, well, this is a guy that could be a backup. Davis felt like when they drafted him, it felt like this is definitely Eli's replacement on down the road, a successor, whatever you want to call it. But to me, if Eli's still playing good, I don't see why you have to replace him. To me, give him. I think he can play 3 more years, and then if he's still playing good after 3 more, why move on from that? You know what I'm saying? Like, Brady is. I'm not saying he's as good as Brady, but like, damn, Brady's in his 40s, still kicking ass. And so like to me, like if he can still be Eli way he is now when he's 40, I'm cool with that. I'm not mad.
Listen, I am in love with Eli Manning, and I hope that I wish that he could play until he was 90. I don't care what anybody says. Eli has never been one of those e-buys, those quarterbacks that's going to blow you out of the water during the regular season. I think one of his best seasons was, not too far removed from where we are today, but he's not one of those guys that's going to be flashy like Rodgers. He's not going to be flashy like a Cam Newton or any of those guys that people are, that are on there. He's reliable. How many different quarterbacks have the Eagles gone through? How many different quarterbacks have the Redskins gone through? How many Super Bowls have they won in that time? 0.
I've said it over and over, and I'll say it again. Eagle fans won't admit this, but they don't have one quarterback in their history that's as good as Eli Manning, in my opinion. Not one. And that includes Randall Cunningham, in my opinion. They don't have anybody. And I pretty much feel that same way about the Redskins too. When you think of all the quarterbacks the Redskins had, I'm not sure that Eli isn't better than all their quarterbacks. I understand that rivals and you talk shit and all this and that. I get that, but like to me, they just love to hate him because he's easy to hate.
And that's fine. I don't give a shit. Let them talk all that crap and let me just keep
But he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, let me just keep watching the Giants win more Super Bowls, and you know what? You can tell me that Eli has Down syndrome and he's a goofy motherfucker. That's fine. I don't give a shit.
I like his personality.
He is. You know what? He's perfect for the New York sports arena, right? You come to New York, it's a huge outlet for you to be as flashy as you want to be, and you'll get away with it. But you know what? Eli is the exact opposite. He doesn't feed into all of this stuff. I mean, how many times could Eli have really stepped up to the plate and said something controversial? You know what? He takes the high road. Instead, he sits back and he wins Super Bowls, and he gives you the silent treatment while flipping you the bird and having babies and making babies at the same time. So you know what? If people are going to look for flashy in Eli, that's not him. You know what? Get him in the playoffs, even though last year was an exception. Get him in the playoffs, and you best believe that we have as good of a chance as any other team, whether they're 18-0 or 9-7. Eli's going to ball out.
In my opinion, I thought playoff Eli showed up in Green Bay. I mean, some of the throws he made in that game.
Oh yeah, he for sure showed up. I mean, Shepard. Listen, that game could have been turned on its head.
We're getting to the point where we have to start wrapping it up. But
yeah,
where did you stand on the boat thing?
I didn't give a shit, to be honest with you.
You didn't care?
No, I didn't care.
Fuck it.
Didn't care.
I mean, but why didn't
you know what? The defense partied that night too. That didn't get reported.
No, I understand they partied. I would love to party with Landon Collins, built by Bama. I mean, could you imagine? Who would you rather party with, Collins or Beckham? I'd rather go party with Collins. Beckham, you can hang out with Beatles.
I'm sort of like low key, so all of that media attention wouldn't have been my.
You didn't want to be on the album cover?
No, I didn't want to be on that boat. I would have much rather party with the defense because they just look more ratchet in general. You know, the defense looks like you would have like this low key better time than the offense, but the offense got to take that picture on the boat just to be like, look how cool of a time I'm having. But I think low key, the defense, like they went to some strip club in Queens and they balled out. And you know what? I think that I much would have rather done that than be on a boat with, Trey Songz and his strip.
I would rather hang out with a guy. I would rather hang out with a guy named Snacks. I think.
I mean, that guy's got a family, so I mean, you have a family now too, so that might have been an option.
I know that'd been right down my alley. Me and Snacks hanging out on a Friday night, celebrating wins.
Yeah, I mean, so I think to wrap it up.
But wait, before you go, if the boat thing happens again, if it happened again, something similar to it, do we still don't give a shit?
Yeah, I don't care. You know why? Because
take all the trips to Miami, take all the boat pics you want.
Yeah, I don't care. You know what? It's only funny when it happens to me anyway, to America's team. I mean, to be honest with you, that trip that Romo took with Witten, and they went to Mexico.
Everybody was dating Jessica Simpson too.
Yeah. And you know what? She was such a good luck charm. I love that woman. I don't know what she's doing.
I miss that girl.
But I used to see during the game people with Jessica Simpson paper masks on, and I'm like, I love you guys so much. But I feel like, Odell, no matter what team he plays on, and I hope he plays on the Giants for the rest of his career, he's always now going to have that spotlight on him. I think even if you were in Minnesota, and even if you were on a boat in Minnesota somewhere, it would get reported. It's really just his persona. Do I care? No. Just make sure that, you're mentally prepared for the game on Sunday. And I honestly, in my humble opinion, don't feel like that kind of stuff is going to change your frame of mind for a game. Will it put some negative vibes out there? Will it put some stuff that the media can take advantage of? Of course it will. But do I personally think that it's going to actually affect the mentality of a player going into a game? No.
Well, but this is my thing. If we give OBJ that big contract, or if we're gonna go all in with him, we as fans, and it seems like you have, but anybody else that hasn't yet, they have to embrace that attitude. They have to embrace what he does on and off the field. I'm fine with the dancing. The dancing's cool, whatever. I think he's a hell of a dancer. In fact, I would love to dance just like him. I would, I wish I could cut a rug like he does, but and I wish I could jump hurdles like him too. Have you you remember that touchdown he had? Was it against the Jets? Who was it that he had the touchdown? He did that hurdle dance.
He's had so many touchdowns. It's kind of hard to remember which.
So
I think it was the Ravens. I think it was the Ravens.
The Ravens. Okay, so I'm fine. I'm fine with all that. I'm cool with all that. I actually don't mind the boat pick. Like I would have been cool with that in the regular season. I don't know why. I didn't. It didn't put a real.
Because we lost. If we would have won,
it didn't put a terrible taste in my mouth. But I was just like, damn it, man! That could have been came at a better time. I mean, like I kind of wish that would have just been saved for a different date. Just why? That's why. I mean, yeah. I mean, that's what I did when I saw the pick. I was like, nah.
I'm just happy none of them were holding a blunt or any of that shit.
No, somebody was. Was that the guy, the rapper dude?
Yeah, I'm just saying, like the players. That was my concern.
But that's the thing. You have to know if that's on the boat, it's being passed around, right?
Why are you making assumptions? Like,
I mean,
are you like an investigator, like a crime scene investigator?
Look, here's the thing. No, but I'm sitting there thinking like, damn, that's a cool. I mean, first of all, Shepard looked fucking amazing in that photo. I thought he was like, damn, he looks like the coolest of them all. But my point is, they look like the cover of a rap album, and I'm like, can we at least put on a Giants hat or something?
I don't know. I didn't really read into that whole situation. I think that it won't happen again.
Look,
I don't think it'll happen again.
But Eli's career is winding down, and wouldn't it be nice if he
Stop saying that?
But listen, but here's the thing: wouldn't it just be nice if the guy got one more ring?
Of course.
And so I need my receivers to just keep it low profile this year and help my boy get one more ring.
I don't care what they do and how they do it, as long as they do it.
All right. Well, let's save that discussion for a later date. So we're gonna you and I are gonna start trying to do these Google Hangouts every Wednesday.
Yeah, sure.
Is that what we're gonna try?
That sounds good.
All right, Nicole. Well, you're and for anybody that's been listening that doesn't know, Nicole's YouTube page is Nicolept06, correct?
That's it.
Nicolept06. Now, are you going to put any more? Are you going to put any videos out at all? Or are you just going to? No,
I might act a little. I might do a couple of troll videos. Listen, I will be there week 1 to take part in the shenanigans.
Okay.
At Jerry World.
You should. If you look, you need, and I'm not talking like a full-on vlog, but you could take some vids.
Oh yeah, I'll take some dick pics for y'all.
I don't want any dick pics. I just want some vids. I mean, just take some shots.
Listen, I'm gonna have a very special guest with me.
Put some content out there for the people to see.
I will put some content, maybe a couple of boat pictures for everyone to enjoy. But I'll try to get some more. I've never been a person to really post that many videos because that's something that I've never really had that much time to edit. It takes a lot of time to edit videos these days.
It does.
So for me, it's maybe I'm just gonna say screw it. I'm just gonna upload as it's taped and not even worry about the editing part. But just be rest assured that I will have some content coming up at least week 1 and pre-week 1. I'm gonna be talking a little bit of smack before week 1 for sure. All
right. Well, let's do it again.
I hope I bring all the cowboy cockroaches out of the subways, the New York City subways. I'm hoping to get some day-wide trash talking and some Lizzie Freak or some Halen 88, out here talking some trash and see if we can kind of get back into that week 1.
Okay, awesome. So next week we'll watch. Obviously, we'll catch the Jet game this weekend. We'll watch it, and then next Wednesday we'll dissect that game. We'll look at it and see what some thoughts about it. hopefully some other storylines. I'm sure some other storylines will transpire. You know, we'll see about OBJ. And then we can start kind of after that third preseason game. You know, the fourth one is more meaningless. We can start really focusing on the Cowboys and start being a thorn in their side. So, all right, everybody. I appreciate everybody joining us and hanging out with us and listening to us. And we'll catch you guys next week.
All right. See ya.